是阿万。12月10日的新闻，日本是如何在不依赖中国的情况下建立稀土供应链的？今年中国多次出台稀土出口管制措施，引发全球担忧。稀土这种矿物对从汽车到高端电子产品的各类制造业都至关重要，而对日本来说，这一幕似曾相识。中国几乎垄断了稀土金属的供应。2010年中日领土争端期间，中国曾实质性切断对日本的稀土出口，让日本深受其苦。此后，日本悄然构建起一条大幅降低对中国依赖程度的供应链，正如近期两国紧张局势升级所凸显的，这一举措成为日本应对政治风险的重要保障。根据对日本现任及前任政府官员、企业高管和行业专家的采访，在美国等国家急于寻找中国以外的稀土来源并扩大本土供应之际，日本的经验提供了可借鉴的路径。欧美国家现在才意识到稀土问题的紧迫性。日本经济产业省矿物部门官员小林直贵表示，而对日本来说，早在15年前就有了这个惨痛的教训。特朗普总统称，美国大约需要1年时间就能确保充足的稀土供应，但日本的情况表明，摆脱中国的掌控，尤其是极具成本竞争力的稀土加工设施，难度极大。专家表示，这需要政府持续支持和国际合作双管齐下。关于供应冲击，2010年9月，一艘中国渔船与2艘日本海上保安厅船只在争议岛屿附近发生碰撞，事件升级为外交和经济危机。日本扣押了中国渔船船长，作为报复，中国未事先通知便实施了为期2个月的稀土出口禁令。起初，部分日本官员并未意识到中国这一举措的严重性。2010年担任日本经济产业省经济政策负责人的寺泽达也回忆，当时产业省负责汽车行业的主管匆忙跑到他的办公桌前，警告称，稀土突然断供可能导致整个汽车供应链停摆。我得承认，当时我对稀土一无所知，寺泽达说。他的同事解释说，这些材料是日本汽车行业电机所用磁体的关键成分，而与中国大多数工业化国家一样，日本已将这一关键供应的控制权几乎完全交给了中国。寺泽达也负责制定经济产业省的新经济政策，他拟定了一套当时价值略超10亿美元的扶持计划，旨在降低日本稀土供应链的脆弱性，其中包括大力支持日本企业拓宽稀土来源渠道。当时有人批评我要求资金远超实际需要，寺泽达也说，但我决心让日本永远不再重蹈覆辙。图片是2011年马来西亚关丹正在建设的莱纳斯稀土加工厂。所以说，找到莱纳斯，从某种程度上，当时的时机恰到好处。日本综合商社、双日株式会社与负责矿产资源安全的政府机构金属和能源安全组织JOGMEC 正在寻找非中国来源的稀土，而澳大利亚矿业公司莱纳斯当时正面临财务困境。莱纳斯当时正试图打造全球第一条不依赖中国的一体化稀土供应链，在澳大利亚开采矿时，在马来西亚进行精炼，但该公司难以筹到足够资金以扩大马来西亚精炼厂产能。 双日株式会社必须找到中国以外的稀土来源，如果没有稳定供应，许多地方的工厂将被迫停产。双日株式会社长植村信佑表示，他说当时莱纳斯是唯一的选择。2010年 Joe Mack 与双日株式会社达成协议，向莱纳斯提供2.5亿美元的贷款和股权融资。这笔交易为日本确保了长期稳定的非中国来源稀土供应。如今，在澳大利亚西部，工人轮班从博斯乘机前往偏远的维尔德山火山岩丘，在莱纳斯旗下的露天矿开采稀土矿石，经过部分提纯的稀土金矿，随后被运往约8000公里外的马来西亚关丹工厂。该厂直至今年仍是唯一在中国境外运营的大型稀土分离设施。在那里，原材料通过化学工艺被精炼成纯度足以用于生产的单一稀土氧化物。这些稀土金属从马来西亚运往约5000公里外的日本，由双日株式会社负责分销给日本国内的磁体制造商。这些磁体被用于丰田等汽车制造商生产的各类产品中。早期挑战就是日本已显著增强了其供应链的韧性。2010年贸易争端期间，行业估计日本90%以上的稀土来自中国，而目前这一比例已降至60%到70%左右。双日株式会社2012年首次从马来西亚工厂收到大规模稀土货物，并持续扩大进口稀土的种类。今年10月，其产品线新增了一种特殊的耐高温磁体原料。植村信佑表示，最大的瓶颈是马来西亚的精炼过程。稀土的化学分离会产生大量酸性废料和数以千计吨低放射性残渣。妥善管理和处置这些废弃物既昂贵又费时。2011年至2012年期间，由于当地民众的强烈反对和法律诉讼，莱纳斯在马来西亚的工厂遭遇了数月的延误，直到多次修改残渣管理计划后，该工厂才得以投产。相比之下，中国的加工工厂往往监管宽松，部分甚至非法运营，形成了有毒废弃物污染堆积池。植村信佑表示，正因为如此，双日株式会社和莱纳斯的成本高于中国竞争对手，需要政府支持。如果我们与中国进行正常竞争，那是完全在不同的赛道上。他说，这种差距也绝对无法弥合的。出口管制。今年中国先后在4月和10月出台了大范围的稀土出口管制措施，不仅限制稀土本身的出口，还包括加工技术。中国的这些措施针对所有出口目的地，不仅限于日本。尽管11月以美国与中国达成休战协议，10月出口的更广泛管制措施得到暂停，但各国仍在急于降低对中国的依赖。特朗普政府已开始投入联邦资金构建本土供应链，包括支持加利福尼亚州帕斯山的美国唯一稀土矿开采项目，以及北卡罗来纳州和德克萨斯州的加工及磁体制造设施。美国还签署了多项国际协议，旨在实现供应链多元化，减少对中国的依赖。合作伙伴包括澳大利亚、欧盟和日本，其中与日本的协议是在特朗普10月访问期间签署的。关键时刻， 对日本官员来说，当前局势为各国联合解决成本问题提供了契机。过去15年来，日本一直在独立艰难地应对这一挑战。经产省官员小林直贵表示，如果各国同意购买更多非中国来源的稀土材料，就能形成规模效应，最终降低成本。加强协调还意味着拥有从矿山到实体完整供应链建设经验的日本，能与愿意接纳和资助加工设施的国家建立更深厚的联系。但现任东京某能源智库负责人、前经济产业省官员寺泽达也认为，任何推动国际合作的努力都将是对真正承诺的考验。我们要追问的是，为什么过去15年没有实现这一点？他说，寺泽达在政府任期期间曾试图强调稀土作为双边合作的关键领域，包括在第一届特朗普政府时期。我们仍然很脆弱，美国尤其脆弱。他说，美国无疑是一个伟大的国家，但我认为它无法独自有效应对中国。寺泽达也表示，近期达成的协调协议是基础工作。他指出，现在到了关键时刻，美国是否真正致力于与盟友的合作？师夷长技以制夷，怎么说呢？中国就是这个稀土的一个管控，它还是一个像是一个就是 bottleneck， 就是它可以死死的就是抓住一些重要的命脉，但是呢，所有的东西它就是很容易反噬。就比如说中国出口或者说进口，就是出口禁掉了稀土管控，那大家肯定就是会对稀土管控、稀土供应链重视起来。那另一方面，就是比如说，中国也很喜欢在制裁的时候用经济制裁，就是比如说不购买你们的水产品啊，不购买台湾的农产品啊，不购买澳大利亚的虾啊，或者什么之类的，就是这一类的。但是就是总体来说，就是无论多么厉害的措施发生，就是怎么说呢？就是天它都不会塌下来，经济可能一时的就是陷入那种复杂的情况，但是在接受的时候，会慢慢的摸索出不同的应对方式。比如说当中国不像台湾就是进口一些农产品啊，那日本或者就是台湾，他就会试图就是把农产品，比如说卖向日本啊，卖向其他的一些国家。所以说，就是慢慢他也发现了，就是说你不吃我的，那还有其他人会买我的，或者说他们就是会想办法呀，或者说变成加工啊，或者怎么样的，就是格局是会变的。就是可能有一些措施它会一时有效，但是很难说永久都有效吧。How Japan built a real earth supply chain without China. The world reacted with alarm this year when Beijing introduced wave of export controls on rare earths, the minerals vital to the manufacturing of everything from cars to advanced electronics. For Japan, the experience feels like deja vu. China maintains a nearly monopoly of the supply chain of the metals. Japan learned that the hard way in 2000 when China effectively cut it off during the territorial dispute between the countries. Tokyo has since quietly stitched together a supply chain that is considerably less dependent on China. For Japan, that is an important hedge to political risk as the region flare up in tensions between the nations underscores. As the United States and other nations scramble to secure rare earth outside China and build up their domestic supplies, Japan's experience provides lessons in how it can be done. According to interviews with current and former government officials, business executives, and industry experts in Japan, the urgency of the rare earth situation is just now dawning on the United States and Europe, said Naoki Kobayashi, an official working in the minerals division of Japan's Trade Ministry. For Japan, this painful lesson came 15 years ago, he said. President Trump has said he believes it will take the United States about a year to secure ample rare earth supplies, but Japan is a case study in how hard it is to pull out of China's grip, especially its extremely cost-competitive rare earth processing facilities. Experts says such an effort requires both substance, government support, and international collaboration. Supply shock. In September 2010, a collision near disputed islands between a Chinese fishing trawler and two Japanese Coast Guard vessels escalated into a diplomatic and economic crisis. Japan detained the captain of the Chinese ship, and Beijing, in retaliation, implemented an unannounced 2-month embargo on rare earth exports. At first, the significance of China's move was lost on some Japanese officials. Toshiya Terajawa was in charge of economy policy at Japan's Trade Ministry in 2010. He recalled that the ministry's lead auto industry officials rushed to his desk, warning that the entire automatic supply chain could be suspended because of the sudden cut-off. I have to confess, I have zero knowledge about rare earth, Mr. Terajawa said. He said his colleague explained that these materials were essential ingredients for the magnets used in motors across Japan's auto sector, and Japan, like most industrialized nations, had ceded control of this vital supply almost entirely to China. Mr. Terajawa was responsible for developing the Trade Ministry's next suite of economy policies. He completed a package worth a little over $1 billion at a time, aimed at reducing Japan's supply chain vulnerability to rare earth. It included substantial support for Japanese groups to diversify rare earth sources. At the time, I was criticized that I was demanding much more money than necessary, Mr. Terajawa said, but I was determined that Japan never repeat this incident. Finding Linas. The timing was in some way opportune, suggests a Japanese conglomerate, and JOMAR, the government body overseeing mineral resource security, was seeking non-Chinese rare earth options, and Lynas, an Australian mining company, was dealing with financial difficulties. Lynas was trying to create the world's first integrated rare earth supply chain without using China, instead mining the earth in Australia and refining them in Malaysia. But it was struggling to amass the capital it needed to increase production at its Malaysian refining site. Sanjit had to find sources of rare earths outside China without stable supplies. Factories in many places would have to stop operating, said Kosuke Yumura, the chief executive of Sojitz. At the time, liners was the only options, he said. In 2011, Jomak and Sojitz did a deal that provided $250 million in loans and equity to liners. The transaction secured for Japan a long-term supply of rare earth sources outside China. Today, in Western Australia, workers on the remote Mount volcanic plug are flown out from Perth on rotations to extract rare earth one from an open pit mine owned by liners. The particularly purified concentrate is then shipped 5,000 miles to the company's facility in Kuantan, Malaysia. Until this year, the only large-scale rare earth separation plant operating outside China. There, the materials are refined through a chemical process into individual rare earth oxides, pure enough to use in manufacturing. From Malaysia, the metals are transported another 6,000 miles to Japan, where Sojitz manages distribution to domestic magnet makers. In Japan, the magnets are used in a number of products, including vehicles produced by automakers like Toyota. Earlier challenges. Japan has significantly bolstered its supply chain resilience, while industry estimated placed Japanese rare earth imports from China at 90% or more during the 2010 trade dispute. That figure now stands closer to 16% to 17%. Sojitz received its first large shipments of rare earth from the Malaysia facility in 2012 and has continued to expand the breadth of metals it imports. In October, it added a type of specialized heat-resistant magnet ingredients to its portfolio. According to Mr. Yumura, the Sojitz chief executive, the target's bottleneck was the refining process in Malaysia. The chemical separation of rare earths produced such value of acidic waste and thousands of tons of low-level radioactive residues. Proper management and disposal of the waste is expensive and time-consuming. Between 2011 and 2012, the liners facility in Malaysia faced months of delays because of fierce local opposition and legal challenges. The facility began operating only after it revised its residue management plan multiple times. In contrast, Chinese processing factories are often lightly regulated and some illegally operated, creating toxic waste sites. As a result, Mr. Yumura said Sojitz and liners have higher costs than Chinese rivals and require public backing. If we were to compete normally with China, we'd be playing on a different field altogether. He says this gap is absolutely unbridgeable. As per controls, this year, China introduced expensive rare earths as per controls, first in April and again in October, restricting the materials themselves and the processing technology. Beijing's measures targeted all exports, not just those bound for Japan. Although the broader October restrictions were temporarily suspended through a truce with the United States in November, countries are scrambling to lessen their dependency on China. The Trump administration has begun investing federal money to construct a domestic supply chain. The effort entitled support for the shore U.S. rare earth mining operation at Mountain Pass, Calif, as well as for processing and magnet manufacturing facilities in North California and Texas. The United States has also signed international agreements to diversify supply chains away from China. Paths were reached with Australia and the European Union and Japan, the latter of which was signed during Mr. Trump's visit to Tokyo in October. Moment of truth. For officials in Japan, the current situation presents an opportunity to band together with other countries to solve the issues of cost. One that over the past 15 years, Japan has struggled to tackle on its own. If nations agree to buy more non-Chinese rare earth materials, they can build scale and eventually bring down costs. According to Mr. Kobayashi, the Trade Ministry officer, more coordination can also mean creating deeper ties between Japan, which has experience building mine-to-magnet supply chains, and countries willing to host and fund processing facilities. But Mr. Tarojawa, the former Trade Ministry official who now heads an energy think tank in Tokyo, believes that any push for international cooperation will be a test of genuine commitment. The question we need to be asking is why this didn't happen over the past 15 years, he said. When he was in government, Mr. Tarejawa attempted to stress rare earths as a critical area for bilateral collaboration, including during the first Trump administration. We are still vulnerable. Especially the U.S. is still so vulnerable, he said. The U.S. is a great country, for sure. I don't think it can deal with China effectively on its own, Mr. Tarejawa said. The recent agreements to coordinate other groundwork. Now, he said, comes the moment of truth. Is the U.S. really committed to work with its allies? Thanks for your listening and hoping your life fully with happiness and joys.